His name is Dana Altman.
Yeah.
And he aligns Rubens cubes.
Rubens cubes? He's a Rubens cubes guy? I love it. Never done a Rubens cube before. How many spins does that thing take?
How much pastrami's on that?
It's a lot. I love a good Reuben.
Does he know he wrote
Russian
Rubens
dressing.
cubes?
Is that how he spells it? Is that like an inside joke, or did he mean?
I don't know.
Assuming you mean Rubik's
don't
cube.
Did he not
Listen-
do spell check?
No,
My nephew handed me one of those the other day and was like, "Do you know how to do this?" It's like
Nah, maybe
Reuben?
maybe 30
I know how to
days.
eat
Reuben.
I know how to eat Reuben.
I know how to eat a
I
Reuben.
can make a Reuben.
I can make a Reuben. I can eat a Reuben. Rubik's cube? Yeah, you're not going to get any help with me there. I got nothing for you there.
Oregon
Sorry.
has now won 6 straight games and closed their victory over Indiana on a 10-0 run. I've seen this Dana Altman before. That's John Rothstein of CBS Sports.
They're hot, baby. They're hot and rolling. Little tight, little uncomfortable late, and then old Jackson Shellstad hit a 3 from basically half court, and
We had a bang 3.
Bang! That was all she wrote. I did have one critique, and I don't know. You guys watch far more college hoops than I do. At least Swag does. I know that.
You seem to tell us every single day that you're watching.
Well, no, I just mean
college
like
hoops
historic.
every
How
day.
long has Indiana been wearing black uniforms? Is that a new thing? Is
That's
that
a-
been going on?
that's a newer
Okay.
That's a newer thing.
I was genuinely bummed about that.
Oh,
Yeah, you
really?
wanted to
Oregon
see-
fan is
you
bummed
wanna
about
see
it.
the
Well, no,
crimson
I'd say
in there?
it's
Traditional
Indiana.
uniforms.
They're
Yeah.
in my building. Indiana's never played at Oregon
You
before.
wanna see red.
It's a classic university that has one of the most iconic college basketball uniforms out there. They have their striped warm-up pants on. They take them off, and it's an all-black
Yeah,
uniform.
you want to see the red.
I feel
with
like I'm
the-
playing Stanford last night. Give me the Indiana uniforms, damn it. I want to beat the Hoosiers.
It's very odd for a Duck fan to be complaining about what uniform a team is wearing.
I mean, Oregon has a lot of really bad uniforms.
but you guys wear like 80 uniforms.
we
what do
do.
you care if another team wears a different uniform?
It just didn't feel like we were playing Indiana.
It said Indiana on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it did on the scoreboard.
Mike
I know.
Woodson's goatee was on the sideline.
right.
He
in a
was.
suit.
He was on the sideline. He was out there.
So what are you complaining for? You
I
won the
wanted a
game.
red and white uniform. I'm not complaining about much. It was a nice win for Oregon.
I want it now, Daddy. You sound like the girl from Willy Wonka. Your life's amazing, and you're like, the other team didn't wear my uniform that I like.
He's Veruca Salt.
Yes.
A little upset about that.
You won.
Heading to the top 5 seed in March Madness, man.
Shellstad's 17-point game, which, by the way, was capped off with that almost half-court 3. Joey
Yeah,
Mack
it was.
in the open said it was an NBA 3. That was almost a half-court 3. He had 17. It just makes the game where he shot twice. Was he sick? Have we found out if he was sick in that game? Because that was weird.
It was very weird. He had a swoon. I mean, the whole team had a swoon in the middle of the season, and he was a part of that. He's had some. I mean, even the win in Iowa was his last one, where he was 0 of 7 from the floor. He had 1 3 that should have counted late in that game, but they decided to overturn it for some reason. But you look at the last 3 games and what he's done. He's been much better shooting the ball from 3, incredibly efficient, scored nearly 20 in his last 2 games in the win over USC, in which they were down big and came back and won, and then outstanding again last night against Indiana. I mean, this is Oregon, and it's another good reminder when they go through those swoons. I mean, they had games in there that they could have won. I mean, the Michigan State game, they had a lead from the majority of it, then let it slip late.
Michigan was right.
The Michigan
within
game
their
was
grasp.
back and forth.
Yep.
The Nebraska game was ugly. They got murdered by UCLA. That was the one where he was 0 of 2, and those were the only 2 shots that he took. They just no-showed that game for whatever reason. But the fact that they've now turned the corner, like this is when you want to be playing your best ball. They're basically locked in. We'll see how Illinois does this week. It seems like to that 8-9 range for the opening round of the Big Ten tournament. And so they'll have some early games next Thursday and Friday. But they're essentially locked into like a top 6 seed because they close the season with the Huskies.
They'll
And
win that
Washington's terrible, and they're going to kill them. And so that's your last game. You finish the season with, what, 23 wins on the year? It's a remarkable first year in the Big Ten.
If they can hit threes too, that just makes them that. They shot 24% last night from 3.
That's their bugaboo is
It is.
inconsistent.
They're not
shooting.
a good three-point shooting
I
team.
mean, I know he was 50% from the field, but if Evans is shooting and I'm on the other team, I'm like, please, Kwame Evans, let the 3 go. Like, I'd rather have you do that than Nate Biddle do a little jump hook from 3 feet away.
Yeah.
This is just the most obvious, it feels like, thing coming. To John Rothstein's point, they're going to get a favorable matchup in round 1 because the committee loves Dana and they give Dana everything. And then they're going to be in the Sweet 16 because they're going to win the second game.
We always get favorable matchups, huh?
You always Rhode Island. I mean, you guys get good matchups.
Okay. I
It's,
didn't know that was a thing.
You
I didn't
also
know we're
always get
pulling strings
granted-
behind the
Yeah.
scenes for good matchups in the first round of the tournament.
Every player that needs
didn't know that was a thing.
eligibility flyer, the NCAA will always grant that to Oregon.
Is that why N'Faly Dante's in the NBA right now?
Oh, he wanted him for 8 more years?
Yeah.
The 7 years wasn't enough.
He
huh?
applied for a waiver to come back, and
So
he should have been
right
granted the waiver.
now, Joey Brackets has the Ducks as a 5 seed in Seattle against McNeese.
I mean,
And if
when
they
you're a 5
win-
seed, you play a 12 seed. I don't know if you're aware of that.
If
Near
they
your home.
win,
Near
they
your home.
would get Texas A&M in the second round.
Hey, you
Bring
can
it
get
on.
Texas A&M.
We're going to the Sweet 16 this
Texas
year.
A&M just had their best win of their lives last night. Take a listen to this.
83-72 Texas A&M. The inbound to Pettiford. Texas A&M, the first time history is made. Aggies defeats a number 1 team. Tigers tamed 83-72. Texas A&M beats number 1 Auburn.
Texas A&M Learfield Radio on the call there.
Bring it on, Aggies. We'll take them down in the second round. Then them and their stupid cheers and chants.
You guys could beat Texas A&M.
We absolutely could. Dane Altman's never gone to a tournament and not won a game. So
I
I'll
have
pick him
a-
to win whoever they play.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you tell me they're in the Sweet 16, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, he's been to the Sweet 16 a number of times. He's a pretty damn good coach.
Fire him.
Yeah, we probably should. Not good enough for me, man.
Get hire Hurley once he gets fired from ASU.
I want a championship, damn it. Hurley's got that championship pedigree, unlike Dana Altman. Give me that guy. He's fiery. He yells at people.
That guy's been yelling for like 6 years in Tempe, and he just never decided to change. He's going to get fired. They're
He's on his way out.
4 games below 500. They're
Not
terrible.
going to end well there at ASU. Losing again to an in-state rival after the last time you played him.
Defense optional last
Yeah.
night.
They had the whole handshake, no handshake thing, and he called him no class the
Yeah.
first time they played him, and then they beat you again. They gave up 113 points.
That was a good win for your Ducks. Finished with a 10-0 run. They win 73-64. They've just, as you mentioned, got Washington. Keep an eye on Illinois. If Illinois falls to Purdue, you would be in a position to get the, what would it be?
7th
seed.
It would be the 7 seed if Illinois does not beat Purdue, which
Yeah.
that game
You
is.
still have to beat Washington.
Friday, and they would still have
Really?
to beat Washington.
Who hasn't beaten Washington?
Everybody's beating Washington this year. I think the Portland Pilots could beat Washington this year.
Washington's dead last in that conference.
They are really bad. Yeah,
Not a
really.
good year for Sprinkle
No,
year one.
not a
Tough
good
first
sprinkle year.
That's a $2.5 million player working out for them.
Pretty good.
Is he having a good year?
I have no clue. I don't
Great
think so.
Osabor.
Is he having a good year?
I remember that being a big deal when they
He's putting
signed
up
him.
lot of
numbers.
money, dude.
He's putting up numbers.
Okay, all right. That's
At
At least they got one guy putting up numbers. Maybe they should have spread the money around to more players instead of one guy. They would have been a little bit better this year.